Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I just wanted to go, this is just gonna be a really small video, nothing too crazy. If you haven't, go ahead and check out my other video. I went ahead and lifted the four-door Jeep. Yeah, I got her looking good on some 35s. Got a tiny lift from rough country. In this video, I'm gonna be going over how to replace a thermostat on these 3.6. Mine's a 2016 JK. With the 3.6, it's super simple, but it's something I ran into just after a couple weeks of owning her. I assume no one had replaced the thermostat since before I got her, since she had a few owners out in California. Excuse me. So I assume no one's done that before. So when I got, the engine light, hey, something's wrong, went ahead, got it replaced. It was about a $25 part. Got it at O'Reilly's by my work. One of my buddies at work, he helped me do it. Well, I did the most part, but he pressurized it, flushed it for me. I'm just gonna do kind of a quick overview of that, just how to get it done, where it is, and how to replace it. But really quick, let's talk about Serenity. So if you see my last video, then you'll know that I'm struggling to get fuel up to the top of the engine. Over the time and in between the spaces between these videos, I've dropped the tank, did the sending unit, I've replaced the fuel pump up here, and I've replaced every rubber line from the hard line that runs down there up to the top, but I'm still not getting fuel. I went ahead, I tried to turn it over, but I wasn't getting any gas to this bottle here, which that's what I was hoping, is once that fuel pump kicked in, it would pick up, get there. That way, if it wasn't running right, I would know it's the carb. I do have a carb rebuild kit in the back waiting for her. Probably gonna go ahead and do that. Went ahead and did fuel filters, all that. So I was kind of confused when I wasn't getting fuel. One of my buddies mentioned that if I pour gas down this line and get it into the fuel pump, kind of, what's the word? Oh yeah, get the fuel pump kind of primed. Unfortunately, when I went to do that, the battery did, it wasn't charged completely, or I connected it weird, but so the battery was dead, so that's gonna be done another time. But I do have high hopes for that, hoping just kind of get some back pressure, just pressure in there as much as possible. That way I can start getting fuel up here and get her running again. But so like I said, mine is a 2016 four-door. As far as I know, the only ones I've seen for the JKs, they only came in the 3.6s. Now the newer Jeeps, the JLs, they come in the 3.6 that was updated with an EGR valve. They have the 2.0 turbo that I do not like. They go out super easy. It's kind of a pain if I'm being completely honest. And of course they have the 392 Wrangler, but that's a whole different ball field. But like I said, with the 3.6, it's actually pretty simple in here. One of the worst things about this, as you can see, intake comes over to the driver's side of the vehicle. But the thermostat, a lot like other engines, are actually super easy to get to. So let me grab this light here. If I could focus down there. Right there, if you see that bolt, that is the top bolt to the thermostat. Let me go ahead and get this done before it gets dark. Went ahead and grab my pin light here. So to be able to do the thermostat, it's actually pretty simple. You're gonna pop this cover off. There's a couple 10mm bolts. That's almost too bright. 10mm bolts here and there, and then a plug-in along here. If you slide this off, if you slide the intake to the airbox completely off, it opens up all the way down to the bottom of the engine. There we go. That's a lot better. Right there is your thermostat. Try and not blind it. Right there's your thermostat. It's just 2 bolts that goes right into the water pump housing. There is one bigger clamp for the coolant hose. It's kind of a pain to get off, but it doesn't take too long. So if you go ahead, get that coolant hose off, put a pan down there. Let me get the light correct. Get the pan down there. It does fall kind of onto the diff and onto the axle, but yeah, it's kind of a cleanup. It's not too bad though. Go ahead and get that off, let that drain, and just zip these 2 bolts off. It's actually super simple. So once you have your old thermostat out, you're gonna go ahead and pop in your new one. Make sure that the gasket from the old one is not still on there. If it's, you know, messed up, or if it's still on the water pump housing, or if it's on the old thermostat, go ahead and make sure it's a clean surface, and make sure your new, what was the word I'm thinking of? I just said it. I can't think. Your new seal. Gasket, that's the word. Get the new gasket on there. It is actually a pretty simple process to replace that. And then go ahead, pop this all back in. These are kind of a pain because you do have this flex area. You do have this flex area right here and right here. They do, right there and right there, they do bunch up a little bit. Mr. Police Officer. They do bunch up a little bit and makes it kind of a pain to line this up, get these clips back in. But other than that, popping this off is kind of a breeze. It takes about maybe 5 minutes. I'm not sure what's going on over there, but we got 2 police officers just kind of chilling at the end of my road. After that, gonna go ahead, make sure the engine is cool after this. Now my buddy Harrison, he hooked me up. He has a tool that pressurizes, so it's got a valve on it for an air hose, and then a line to pick up fuel, say if you had a jug of coolant down here. So what it does is you lock it onto here, it kind of just pushes in and seals down, and you hook up the air hose to it. After the system is pressurized, after you put that hose back on, by the way, didn't get it on quite right and it started leaking. After you get that hose back on and pressurize it, it'll build pressure in the system, and once he flips that valve, it will suck the coolant from the jug into there. And then so there's a relief valve that you can press, so once he presses it, it starts letting out air and it'll let in the coolant. Once that starts bubbling with coolant and or becomes, you know, just kind of leaking coolant, go ahead, depressurize it, get it out of the jug, and pop it off. After that, you're gonna want to run the Jeep up. That way you can get all the air bubbles. You can go ahead, squeeze all your coolant lines that you can see, mostly the top of the engine, because, you know, air will rise with the pressure. So if you start squeezing, say these, it'll help get that air bubbles out of here, and you'll see it here. Go ahead and top off your coolant reservoir while you're at it. I'm not sure if mine is right now, but make sure you do that. That way you have a little bit extra. Other than that, there's a bunch of different ways to bleed a coolant system. Whatever way you know best is probably going to be the best way to do it. Personally, I found this super easy. It took maybe 15 minutes, letting it pressurize, letting it get in all the coolant, and then, you know, kind of depressurizing it and making sure we got all the air bubbles out of it. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. I kind of just want to give, is this recording? Yeah. Okay, thank you for watching. I just want to kind of give a little bit of an update on Serenity here and kind of go over that, since really besides my brakes, which I know a lot of people know how to do brakes, but some don't. So if anyone ever wants kind of an in-depth view of that, I'll gladly take any of these vehicles and do the brakes on them for a video. Besides my brakes on the Jeep, that thermostat was one of the only things that popped up. It was a comfortable. A couple weeks after I bought it, there were 2 nights I had gone to the movies, and one night I was heading back here late after staying with my girlfriend and doing homework. Come back here late, and I was, you know, getting impatient, didn't let the Jeep warm up, and immediately as I start driving, once I didn't let it warm up, check engine light. First time it happened, I was like, thermostat code. I had gone to work, potted it up, whatever. It's like, okay, probably need a thermostat here pretty soon. It happened probably a week later, and I was like, okay, you know what? This has to happen. I want to make sure that this Jeep lasts as long as possible, make sure it's healthy, it doesn't have any leaks or any problems right now. I'm trying to keep up with that, especially, like I said, I did the oil change in the brakes in the last video. So yeah, it was a super simple fix. My buddy Harrison, he really helped me with his pressurizing, I don't know what he calls it, pressurizing coolant line. But yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you go ahead, like and comment what you want to see, if you want me to do anything with one of these vehicles. If you have any questions, I do plan, spring break is coming up here in about 3 weeks to 4 weeks, so I do plan on taking Vanity out there, loading her up, possibly taking my girlfriend, and or, you know, camping with my buddy and his girlfriend, and I'll do a video on that, bring my camera you know, get them in on it. I'm not sure how they're gonna like that, but I think it'll be fun personally. So once we get that done, I'll video that, kind of show for the camping side of people. As you know, I'm trying to reach different communities. There's Jeeps themselves, there's mechanics, there's the off-roaders, there's the people who camp in Jeeps and do overlanding. I'm a little bit of all of them, so I'm trying to reach everyone, and I do love camping, and I really do want to camp in that Jeep, and I'm super excited for that. I got all my camping stuff in the corner right now. I'm looking at it, I'm getting excited, and I'm excited to do a video about it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video and hope you have a great day.